President Trump has driven much of the mainstream media bonkers once again. Fox News is among a number of outlets that confirmed a Washington Post report that during an Oval Office meeting with lawmakers on immigration today, that one we were just talking about, Trump balked at that deal and said, and I substitute one particular word here, why are we having all these people from blank hole countries come here? The president was reportedly referring to the countries of Haiti, El Salvador, and of course that's the home of MS-13, mind you, and some African nations. CNN completely freaked out.
The president seems to harbor racist feelings about people of color from other parts of the world.
The president has racist views. I mean, you know, how long do we have to dance around that issue?
Jeffrey Toobin talking about dancing is not something I ever want to think about. Let's bring back Ann Coulter and Mark Krikorian, and also welcome immigration attorney Michael Wilds in New York. Ann, let's go to you on this issue of the blank hole countries. Because he said that, Toobin and Acosta go right to the same old trope. They tried in 2016. Donald Trump is obviously then harboring ill will toward people of color.
Right, and don't change the channel from Laura's show, but this is the funnest night to watch CNN since election night. It's fantastic. That's not good enough. I do still want a wall. So he's not going to win me back with just, you know, his rhetoric again. He said he's going to build a wall 1,000,000 times. Not until we actually see the wall. But you know, I think it's worth mentioning. This is exactly what all of the Democratic sponsors of the 1965 Immigration Act promised us. Teddy Kennedy, Bobby Kennedy, the Washington Post, Emanuel Sellers swore up and down. This Immigration Act will not change the ethnic composition of America. We will not be overwhelmed by immigrants from Asia, from Africa, from the Caribbean, from any one country. They swore up and down. In fact, the 1965 Immigration Act, and their quotes, by the way, are all in Adios America, they're acted exactly the opposite of that. Basically, Western European immigration was shut down. We were overwhelmed with the third world. Now, if anybody complains about it, they call you a racist. Well, no, we're just saying was Teddy Kennedy a racist for saying it wouldn't do all of the things it did? And no, manifestly it's true. We want Westerners who can speak English. Just one thing on you were talking about how they don't have enough money for the wall. I was thinking when you were saying that, you know, as long as these countries are such fantastic countries, maybe we could get, you know, cut off the foreign aid to all of them and use that for the wall.
Or tax remittances, or shut down remittances to other countries altogether. I mean, they send $20 billion out of the country, 50% tax, you get $10 billion right there. Michael, I want to go to you on this. Your reaction to the president's reported comment.
Well, I first thank you, Laura, for having me on again. I have to say, just for context, I happen to have been the president's immigration lawyer for over 10 years, acting on behalf of Trump models and Miss Universe and so forth. A staunch Democrat, I still represent actually Mrs. Trump. I have to tell you that I was disappointed by the words and the tone. I did not believe the president to be a bigot. I think this is a contentious issue, and a president should be speaking in a presidential capacity with better choice of words. But the fact is, the dialogue has deteriorated. We have, unfortunately, leaders in this nation in both houses that have not done anything to fix this broken immigration system. It's festering. And, you know, family reunification was a hallmark of the 1965 Act. It's now been given a derogatory term of chain migration. So we got a lot of things to fix. Guys, without interrupting, let me just say something. We have 50,000 lottery visas, and we have 10,000 people getting EB-5s where they put $1 million in and buy green cards effectively. Yes, there's some things that we need to do. They want to drop brothers and sisters and in exchange put in a merit-based special visa for entrepreneurs. I'm all for, you know, adding more venues to get legal immigrants. I don't think we want criminals and MS-13 here.
Right. Well, let me get into that, because we promised our viewers we would share some information tonight that we uncovered today. I was going around the internet, and I logged on the Denver Post website. It's an interesting website. They report on some cool issues that I care about. And crime is one of them. And there was a major heroin bust in Colorado this week. There's a 61-count indictment against 6 individuals. Now, we called over, and I guess we transferred a few times around. We found out that in addition to the main suspect, Flores Rosales, 47-year-old Cristobal Flores Rosales, Juan Borges Meza, Mario Acosta Ruiz, and Yoel Soto Campos, and Jose Torres Espinoza are all illegal immigrants. This was a $264,000 worth of drugs, including heroin. We know what heroin is doing to our youth. We know it's doing to our societies. It is poisoning them. That's just one example. And that's why it matters, because real lives are affected. And how many of these kids could be DACA recipients if they hadn't been busted in a heroin ring?
Laura,
Michael, they could receive DACA amnesty, could they not?
Laura, get these criminals out. Get this insidiousness, the opioids, the heroin.
Michael,
get them out.
Why should our law enforcement?
Are you going to conflate 900,000 innocents with MS-13?
Not this. No. What, Michael? Here's what you could do. You know, again, this might work in your law practice. Doesn't work with me. These are individuals who are taxing our police, our district attorneys, our government services by poisoning our youth.
If they're criminals, they cannot get DACA.
Oh, they're all valedictorians, right, Michael? Mark Krikorian. They shouldn't be in this country. They shouldn't have been allowed in this country, and they never should be here.
They cannot get DACA if they're criminals.
Yeah, because we caught them. How many didn't we catch?
There's 2 points on the crime issue that are relevant here. You have the supporters of big immigration say immigrants, when you add them all together, they're not that much more likely or less likely to be criminals than Americans when you add them all together. That might be true. We don't know, because Ann said the data doesn't exist. They don't collect it. There are 2 points that matter here. One, illegal immigrants shouldn't be here, so one crime is too many.
One American life isn't worth it.
And immigrant communities, even though most of the people are perfectly innocent, they serve as kind of cover for rings like this. These guys were not operating out in some suburban place. They were in an immigrant community.
I have to share another anecdote. This is very important. This happened about 10 miles from Washington, D.C., where we're broadcasting from right now. Go back to Valentine's Day of last year. Female MS-13 gang member, 17 years of age, had another girl in her grips and stabbed her multiple times, killing her. She went on tape. The confession was taped and released to Local 5 News, Fox 5 here in Washington. Watch.
You need to tell me what you did to her.
I killed her.
How did you kill her?
With a knife.
She said to her also, you'll see me again in hell. Don't forget my name. All reported, all admitted to. Another life that shouldn't have been taken, that shouldn't have been, this should never have happened, and you can take it away here, but I'm telling you, any destruction of life, property, rape, child abuse, DWI, why do the American people have to tolerate this so liberals feel better about themselves and their electoral chances and Republicans get cheap labor? Why?
Right, and they're not living in those neighborhoods. That happened last year?
No, that was this year.
This year.
Just
okay,
happened.
So that's in Trump's America. So, you know, we do have, if you could flash back to Trump promising
the confession was just released. The killing happened in Valentine's Day of last year. Yeah, in Valentine's Day of 2017.
The parents of the children murdered by illegal aliens, Trump said, brought them up on stage, God bless them, first time most Americans had even heard of them, and said over and over again, I won't forget you, I won't betray you. These killings going forward, if Trump does not keep his promises on immigration by building a wall and deporting illegals, these are going to be his Kate Steinleys. Now this is on his record. The next Pulse nightclub, that's going to be his. And he better remember the people who put him there.
Laura,
all right, guys.
Laura, if I may.
Real quick, Michael, go ahead.
The dialogue has deteriorated sadly, where you're giving the impression to everybody that most foreigners or immigrants are criminals.
No,
DACA recipients cannot be criminals, and I'm telling you right now, scaring the hell out of America is not in good taste.
Michael,
yes.
What if that were your daughter? What if that were your daughter with 12 knife wounds in her neck? What would you be saying? Would you be coming on this show saying, "Oh, the poor DACA kids"?
Laura,
I don't think so.
How dare you?
No,
use
how
that
dare you try to make that argument? We did not say 800,000 DACA people were responsible for crimes.
Laura, I'm a former federal prosecutor. I know.
Mark Krikorian just said that. So don't tell me
Laura,
that we said something
can I
that we
say
didn't
something,
say.
or you want to
Donald
talk over
Trump
me?
should get a new immigration lawyer. We're out of time. If you
Laura,
thought they
I'm a
were
former
just coming
federal
after
prosecutor.
conservatives,
Use better.
you're wrong. The potentially invasive tactics from Silicon Valley could affect all of you. Up next.